I've been dating my stepsister for almost 2 years. We are engaged now. My fiancé 24F and I 26M are step-siblings and have been together for almost 2 years. I know that must sound odd, but please let me explain. My fiancée, let's call her Hope, and I met when I was about 14 at a county fair. We hit it off, and by the end of the week, we started dating. I lived a few towns over from her, but I still went to the town she lived in to visit family from time to time. We would text a call when we could, and I would visit her as often as I could, always meeting at a park or the reservoir. Growing up, I never really knew my dad. I saw him once when I was about 5 and then didn't see him for a while after. He would make plans to come get me. That day would roll around and he wouldn't show, but he would have a bunch of pictures being tagged to his Facebook. Always he was at the bar. Never failed. I finally gave up and just started living my life. I joined wrestling and got good. My coach became my father figure. On my 15th birthday, I was sitting in my room messing around on Facebook when I noticed I had a message from my dad. Let's call him Rick. Rick said he was sorry for everything and he wanted to get to know me. After thinking it out, I told him I was free the following weekend and we made plans for me to visit him. When the day finally came around, I didn't want to go, but my uncle showed up to get me and take me to see Rick. I realized on the way out there that Rick lives in the same town as Hope. I got excited and told my uncle about it. I decided I'd wait till later to get a hold of Hope and tell her I'm in town. I texted Rick and told him I'd be there shortly. He proceeded to tell me that he lives with his pregnant girlfriend and her 6 kids. No big deal, my mom has 5 including myself, me being the oldest. My uncle pulled up in front of the house and we said goodbye. Rick was on the porch waiting for me. I walked up and he greeted me and asked if I was ready to meet everyone. I told him yes and we went inside. He introduced me to his girlfriend, let's call her Lisa. She told me I looked a lot like my dad, to which I rolled my eyes. Rick took me downstairs to meet the rest of the kids. I walked into the living room and saw a beautiful girl sitting on the couch and ended up doing a double take. It was Hope. She smiled at me, but we didn't say anything though. Rick led me into the living room to meet Hope. We acted like we didn't know each other. Rick asked Hope to introduce me to some people and show me around town. She agreed with a smile. Hope and I walked outside and asked each other what the hell was going on. I told her I hadn't seen my dad since I was a kid and he got a hold of me on my birthday to tell me he wanted to meet me. She laughed and said our parents are dating. They've been for about 6 months. We were together for about 8 or 9 at the time. A few of her friends knew me and asked what I was doing there. We explained it to them and asked them not to tell anyone. They agreed. So every weekend I'd go out to Rick's to see Hope. Rick was too drunk to try to bond with me, so Hope and I got closer. After a few months, we decided to break up, not wanting to ruin our parents' happiness. I cried a lot. After about a year, things kind of went back to being as normal as I could. I'd still go out to visit Hope and I would still hang out, but that's it. We stayed friends, and a few years later, our parents got married. Shortly after Hope and I broke up, I met someone, the mother of my child, let's call her Dawn. Dawn and I were together for 8 years, eventually breaking up. Dawn and I broke up in 2022, I believe. After Dawn, I dated a girl for a few months. She doesn't deserve a name. She moved in with me and my roommate. A few weeks after she moved in, she broke up with me, got kicked out of my roommate's place, and it turned out they ended up together, still together today. I tried dating someone else, we'll call her Skunt, but she was never loyal and often beat me. We were together for 5 months. One day, after a fight, Skunt packed all my stuff in her car, told me to get in, and drove to her aunt's. I fell asleep on the ride and woke up outside Rick's house. By then, Rick no longer lived in the same city, but it wasn't too far from where he used to live. Skunt told me she had some stuff to do and she'd be back in a few hours. I got out, went to see everyone, and tried to find Hope, who was out of town on a job with her then boyfriend. After a few days, I realized Skunt wasn't coming back. She dropped off my stuff in Rick's yard. I took the hint that it was over. I started looking for a job, but there were no jobs within a 10-mile radius, and I didn't have a bike, license, or other transportation. It was also the middle of winter. I ended up using Hope's bedroom while she was out of town and got a job at a nearby bar as a cook. On Christmas Eve, Hope showed up with her boyfriend, so I got all my stuff out of her room and set up in one of my stepbrother's rooms. Hope and I talked for a bit, and I let her know what was going on with Skunt. She apologized and asked when I started working. I told her I was starting on New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve came around, and after work, I met my step-siblings, including Hope and her boyfriend, at the bar. There was a lot of drinking and substance use, and Hope and her boyfriend ended up fighting. I comforted her because I hate seeing people sad. The next day, her boyfriend came back, yelled at her, and she told him to leave. He said it was over and left. I checked on Hope to make sure she was okay. After a few days, Hope was feeling better, talking and interacting with people. She knew I liked painting and drawing, so she invited me to hang out in her room, where we worked on art and caught up. One night, I told her I still had feelings for her, and she said she felt the same. We kept it quiet until late February. We talked about who we should tell and decided to wait and see what happened. On March 6, 2023, we decided to get back together. We're both adults, and our parents can't tell us what to do. Honestly, I've been chasing her and every woman I dated since we broke up. We eventually told Rick and asked him to keep it quiet until we were ready. He told Lisa almost immediately after they knew. We decided to go public. We faced ridicule, and I was even accused of grooming her, though I hadn't seen her much since I was 17. When I did see Hope, it was always with whatever guy she was dating at the time. Her oldest brother, Chris, 27, supported us from the start, as did her younger brothers, Tim, 22, and Taylor, 16. The only one who hates us being together is her older sister, Ashley, 25. But we don't care. We are in love. I've been searching for her in every woman I've dated. Now we're in my hometown, building our lives together. Hope's biological father supports us and appreciates that I treat his daughter well, which is what matters most. A few weeks ago, I asked her dad for her hand in marriage and will be meeting soon to discuss everything over dinner. Yes, I'm engaged to my stepsister, but I've known her longer than I've known my own father. Are we the offer refusing to end things? We are truly happy and even got sober together. We've been clean since July 16, 2023. If you guys liked this video, please consider leaving a like and subscribing. Thank you. Have a good day.